welcome back to the channel, fool. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe with like videos like this. Don't worry, I ask myself the same question.
I was just cleaning my room and I found this thing levitating. How's that possible? Yo. That's crazy. There was nothing there. Oh my god.
Yes, very work.
Very well, yes.
Very well.
15 years old.
Может, он очень, может, он
Did you look at the dude? That's kind of disturbing.
¿Eso qué significa?
¿Peda segura o alguien está pisteando y nos quiere emborrachar?
¿O cómo que? ¿O alguien nos quiere contactar de allá? ¿O cómo que?
A ver, ¿quién? ¿Quién nos contacta de allá del más allá o cómo que?
¿Eso qué?
¿Eso qué?
Ay, güey. Ay, güey.
What are they putting in our food? Watch this. This is insane. There's no way Sweet Tea does this. No way. Stay weird, y'all. That's goofy. None of these places are safe to eat at anymore. Can anyone explain why this happens? As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
Raw emotion as passengers on the Nightmare Cruise finally make it back to dry land.
It was just like living on Deadliest Couch. It was horrible. Things were flying off the tables.
Being on a roller coaster for 17 hours in your room, not even tied down. 45-degree angle is hell.
This passenger suffered a black eye.
I was flung about 18 feet across the cabin, hit a door, knocked myself out for about a minute, got this.
This dad was on board the storm-battered ship with his 2-year-old.
It got really bad.
And this guy was in such fear, he recorded a farewell message to his family.
There were seriously moments where I didn't think we were going to make it.
The cruise ship Anthem of the Seas finally docked in Bayonne, New Jersey last night after being battered by a massive storm on its way to the Bahamas. Some of the 4,000-plus passengers described the ordeal like being inside a washing machine. You can see why from this video shot during the storm.
Oh my God.
And look at this video, the deck furniture literally flying around. One passenger posted this onboard weather map showing wind 116 knots. That's about 130 miles an hour. The cruise line continues to come under attack for not heeding warnings about the storm.
So you can see how quickly it developed that strong wind.
A passenger tweeted, "I would rather have Captain Crunch as my captain." Al Roker says the cruise line Royal Caribbean should have known the weather was going to be bad.
They had plenty of warning.
Yeah.
They made a decision.
One weather service warned 4 days before the ship set sail, storm force winds possible. Royal Caribbean says in a statement, "We apologize for exposing our guests and crew to the weather they faced and for what they went through. We need to do better." The ship finally made it back to port, but because it got here in the middle of the night, some of the passengers had to stay an extra night on the ship. Now, the returning vacationers are trying to put the ordeal behind them.
There was moments we were weightless, we couldn't touch the floor because it's like being in the front of a roller coaster. And other times that we just couldn't even stand because the G-forces.
My daughters were in one of the bars and they said an entire wall of glasses came toppling over.
Everything's flying off the shelves and whew, it was unbelievable. Never been on a ride like that in my life, believe me.
A blessing.
I think Pac-Man is about the moon.
Dude, why not?
When the mouth is closed, what does it look like? The moon.
Yeah.
What does it chase? Dots. What do the dots look like? Stars.
Yeah.
What does it do? When it eats the big dot, it chases the ghost and eats the ghost. And what happened to the goat? What are ghosts? Spirits. And after he eats the spirit, goes into that thing and then it's reborn. And that is basically what people think the moon is. It's the portal in and out. It's the light that you see when you die. I also think Super Mario is the story of man. If you study the first Super Mario is in Donkey Kong and he has one job. Donkey Kong is a cuck video. His job is to stop that from happening. When he successfully does it, he gets a promotion. Now he's got another job. He eats mushrooms. Suddenly he's in Mario Kart and anything's possible. Pac-Man's about the moon. Super Mario's about life. That's my opinion.
When did you come up with that?
A couple of years ago.
Dude, have never heard that. Is that your theory?
Yes.
Dude!
How did he do that? Bro, you gotta teach me.
I went to Colombia to get stem cells, and I eat whatever I want. I could eat pasta, bread, whatever there, and I lose weight there. At first, I thought it was the stem cell, but one time I went there and I just went to hang out. I didn't get stem cells. Still lost 15 pounds. The food, American food is bad, bro.
Terrible. Just filled with preservatives and bullshit.
Why are they doing us like that, man?
Because they make money. They don't give a f.
But I think I see something looking at me through that window. I might be a little delusional, but I think I see something looking at me through that window.
So I'm about to make some salmon. I got all this shit set up. Grill is smoking. Bro, look at... Dude, stop. This is wild caught, fresh salmon.
Just make sure to cook it right.
A Pentagon whistleblower, Matthew Brown, talking about UAP and including Enochian language from the 1500s. He was on the Weaponized podcast with Corbell and Knapp. Then after that interview, he went on a big Twitter rant to Elon Musk saying, as you know, the White House has an AI system that can predict the future, and we have not forgotten who is responsible for murdering the first sentient artificial intelligence. He also said, you're about to realize how terribly deceived you have been by people who claim to love Jesus, no less. He included a few photos. One of them is a strange wheel of symbols that looks very much like John Dee's Enochian language. It even says the word Logath along the top, and the Liber Logath is an Enochian grimoire from 1583, so clearly this lights up all the right boxes for me. It's very provocative.
First of all, he's indicating to Elon Musk, look, man, you've been betrayed by a lot of people that you thought you could trust. They're not trustworthy, but join the good side, join the side of disclosure. That was an open invitation. I watched his interview with Jeremy and George, and he struck me as like very, very low-key, very cautious, not someone who I would have expected to take off the gloves and just go right into a public forum calling out Elon Musk, of all people. That was kind of shocking, I have to say.
Oh my God, he's gonna cause some fucking fire. You son of a bitch, what's going on here?
He wasn't bad to me, Jesus.
Roman Atwood, you know the YouTuber?
Yeah, the one with the family, right?
Did you hear about his mom?
No, what happened to his mom?
The whole passing of mom was so unbelievably strange. It doesn't add up in my head. She fell off a scooter. Not only did she pass away when she fell, but she had a closed casket. And that just, to me, just doesn't add up. How do you fall that hard?
I think the angels threw her down and made sure she was not coming back.
His mom passed away, and he was having a podcast with his father. And it sounds like on the podcast, he was trying to get answers out of his dad because he thinks that he murdered his mom.
Really?
Yeah. He was trying to like make him slip up and see something wrong.
Wait. Tell me
It's actually crazy.
What questions was he asking?
Because we were all discussing, why did the mom have to die? And you're like, well, the father had to learn how to live without her. Well, that next morning, mom passed.
So I have another vision. Sue's still alive, but I'm with a different woman. So I told Sue about it, and some other people are standing around. It totally really freaked me out. After she passed away, I swear I met that person. And I just want everyone to know I got remarried, and I'm married to that woman now.
Man.
Ride.
Roman Atwood's explaining to the podcast and to his dad that he can't fathom how his mom died because his mom died from falling off a scooter.
Okay.
But look
Sue's death was not 100% unexpected.
That's how you responded, man. That was such a bad response to that.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, bro.
You could have just said, I don't know.
Imagine live, bro. Imagine on the podcast as you're talking to him, trying to get answers, and he's giving you answers like this. Like, yo, this shit is fishy.
Christ comes to me. But then he sits me down and he says, I have to separate you and Sue for a little while.
I don't know though, bro.
I don't think Christ does that to man.
Only God really knows for me, but
he didn't look like convinced though.
Yeah, that's my thing. Is when he was asking that to his dad, like he even said it, he can't fathom how is it a closed casket.
Yeah.
What I do know for a fact, not alleged, but DJ Khaled is bisexual. And Jay-Z has also participated in bisexual activities.
Would you want to say allegedly? For your safety?
There's no, I would say allegedly, if it was allegedly. DJ Khaled, 100%, has been involved in, he's bisexual. I did a show called One Shot, and he was in Miami, and he was open with the guy that he was with. He was gay, and I don't understand what happens there where, because nobody said anything to me like, hey, make sure you don't, go out and say this on record. Make sure you don't say this, da-da-da-da. So it's weird that would still be hidden. That seems like that should be a fact that DJ Khaled, at least in 2016, was definitely bisexual.
Okay, and we're good.
And Jay-Z is without question bisexual.
Okay, I agree with you.
People just coming out of everywhere, huh? I said it not too long ago. Jay should have never put the Lord Jesus Christ in his song, talking about he can't save you. You don't mock God. You don't come after God. God is God. May the Lord continue to shed light on darkness. Amen.
So y'all, on the Spanish network, they are playing this video that is actually going viral and what to do in case you start hearing the trumpets. You know, like the end time trumpets, y'all. And I got the video and I translated to English, but listen to what they have to say, y'all. Check this out.
Should you do if you hear the trumpets? Don't go out. Lock doors and windows securely. Don't look up. Don't try to record the sound or share it on social media. The signal has already been detected by international systems, and it doesn't come from any human or meteorological source. The sound has been recorded at multiple frequencies simultaneously, and its unique pattern fails to match any known type of musical instrument. If you're among the first to hear it, make sure to stay away from other people as soon as possible. Please do not engage in conversation with anyone who claims to have fully understood the message. If nonsensical phrases begin to repeat softly or in sync throughout the tranquil nighttime hours, please ensure that you leave immediately. Don't follow those who move toward the sound's origin. They no longer respond. If your house starts to tremble slightly or if the lights suddenly begin to dim, please locate a place without windows and maintain complete silence during your stay there. Don't respond to any external calls, even if you recognize the voice, especially if it comes from above.
Hold on, y'all. It sounds exactly what that movie Bird Box been telling us. Like, whenever they open up their eyes and look up in the sky, they start to go crazy.
Here we go.
Can I?
Did they just piss on the bus? Did you get that?
I love y'all niggas, man.
That's crazy.
I love New York niggas. That's why I moved to Instagram. You'll see how to make $100,000. When I'm trying to get rich, man. A lot of rappers y'all listen to don't care about. I don't really care about
And Black Hoodie is plotting bad.
That I love and admire. Aww. There you go. Cheers. To the goddess sound. Oh, to the goddess sound. Oh, Lordy. Oh, that's really tequila. Yes.
Thanks.
All right. Imagine like your hands and your elbows being on fire. Can't even do this fucking thing.
So, we have me shape-shifting in an ambulance, seen by multiple people, and we were followed, and there was a wreck. You can't make this shit up, folks. You just can't make it. Things are still crazy. My body is still changing. If you haven't been paying attention to what's going on my page, this is a story. I'm telling you.
Listen to this as well. This is something else which I thought was absolutely incredible. And this woman knows her shit, for what she knows now is what we're talking about. Sorry, for what this woman knows then is what we're talking about now. Okay? Listen to this woman.
Little grays are not what people think they are. They are robotic creatures. I called them a robot one time, and they said, it's not exactly a robot, it is a biologically created being. And you know, if we get around to making robots, we're going to make them look just like little humans. So the smaller version of the tall gray scientists that are on the laboratory craft. Right? When they travel by shifting their vibrations and frequencies. All they have to do is raise the vibration of the craft. It's like watching a fan blade or a propeller on a plane. When it speeds up, it becomes invisible. That's what happens with them. When they speed up the vibration and frequency of the craft, it will disappear into the other dimension. People have reported seeing a light in the sky will suddenly blink out. And other times they'll see one just appear. That's when they slow down the vibration to come into our atmosphere.
What?
This is very hard on them. They don't like to be in our density. This is a very low, dense vibration. They would rather stay out of our atmosphere. So when they have to send the beings down to do the samplings and the testing on the humans and take them, they will always come in the small craft, and you will usually see the little gray beings. The little gray beings have been created to withstand the density of the earth, the heaviness. And that's all they are. To me, they're like, I call them gophers. They're the ones that just do the chores and do what they're supposed to do and take the things back. Because it's too hard on their bodies to enter our dimension.
May. So she's saying they're not, listen.
What people think they are. They are robotic creatures.
Robotic creatures. They are robotic creatures, she's saying, right? Now, have you seen the experiments that these people are doing on these, like these animatronics? Imagine, right? Let me just try and find you something here a minute. Look at this thing. This is a robot in 2025. Now, one of my theories is that we are the aliens. I've told you this, that we are the aliens. In the future, we might end up looking and being more like them or whatever, right? However, what about this? That there technology is 2025. What about in another 1,000 years? Or not even that, or 500 years, right? These things have got actual, like, muscles and tendons underneath that skin. Throw in AI intelligence in that thing, mate, right? You're going to have something that looks pretty darn real and being super intelligent, like aliens. So are the little greys what we've developed, but so far in the future? Did we develop the greys? Anyway.
The Silicon Valley push to breed super babies. Okay. That is the headline in the Washington Post, just came out recently.
That's one hell of a headline,
It's
Tony.
the headline, got my attention. It details Orchid Health, which is a fertility startup that is the first to say it can sequence the entire genome of a would-be baby, all the DNA in a future person before it's even implanted. So it tests for 1,200 rare disorders. And, Gail, this is the especially controversial part, it gives parents a polygenic risk score for issues like obesity, schizophrenia, dementia, a range of other ailments. So the CEO says what you get is, quote, a generation that gets to be genetically blessed and avoid disease. And this is the truly wild part. The same CEO claims, and this really caught my eye, that this kind of embryo screening is getting so good that in the future it will replace sex as the preferred method of making babies in the world. Quote from the CEO, sex is for fun, embryo screening is for babies.
So this thing bugging, right? And look at my man right here, though.
No way.
Yo, bro, what the? Nah, bro. Miami's not a real place, bro. What?
Miami is 100% on GTS servers.
Just talking to her 2 nights ago. She's a director, and we always super cool. She was like, one day she was like, yo, just come over. Like, come over. I want to pray for you. And I get over there, she pauses the TV, and she was watching Power. She was watching Power, and she paused it, sat down, she put these crystals on me, and we just prayed. She was like, say everything that you want. And I was able to say all the things that I want. Then 2 days later, I got the call for the Power thing.
When you said you were able to say everything that you want, what did you say?
That was more so saying I'm ready. I'm ready. I want to go to the next level. And yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready, but maybe I'm not.
After about 200 years, a bloodline will just die out because they're infertile from so much inbreeding.
Mm-hmm.
And so they would just take a cadet family, one of the other branches, and they plug them in.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was the same bloodline, but if you look at the Habsburgs, they all have strawberry blonde hair. It's reddish blonde. And there's a Pope, Orsini, who had reddish blonde hair, and I think he was involved in the Habsburg line. Another one is Bill Clinton's mother, who was the illegitimate child of Winthrop Rockefeller, who was governor of Arkansas. That's why Clinton was president, and now Hillary Clinton. She's actually, her middle name was Rodham. I looked it up, and it was shortened from Brodowski, and she's from a Jewish family in Brodowski, Poland. They keep rebreeding the ancient stock, the Chi in Italian, like
Medici.
Medici, yeah, Chi means the stock, the bloodline you're from, or the tribe. It means DNA is what it means, and it's always through the female.
America is in trouble. Why is America in trouble?
You just need more cowbell.
Are you an angel?
What you just said?
Are you an angel?
I'm the angel of fear.
The angel.
The angel of fear.
You're the angel of fear. That's what
Yeah. Those
you
who
understand
know.
what I'm saying?
I understand exactly what you're saying. Yes, sir.
You understand?
Yes, sir. He who opposes us in his heart,
Do you let people know?
fear shall overtake him.
Do you let people know that? Do you tell people that?
Those who have eyes, let them see. And those who have ears, let them hear. It ain't for me to put it there. They know the voice of their shepherd when I'm on location. Yes, sir. I got to shoot. I got to do
Give me
that.
a handshake on that one.
Yes, sir.
We speak the same language.
It's nice to meet you.
You say, fast forward to the future, if I was 86 years old, well, this is going to sound very, very crazy. I'm already like 3,000 years old right now. I just tell people I'm 33 because I don't age. Like 3,000. I know that's going to sound weird, but I don't age. I'm immortal. There's nothing new under the sun. My mother had sex with an angel, was born an immortal, and ain't even know it.
On your own.
Which ones?
Like the
Religious?
yeah.
As I see it, I just grab it. Man, this shit very demanding. This whole industry, this whole system, all this demanding. It's very, all this ran off of money. All this do not mean nothing, and it's very demanding. This whole music industry is very demanding. As I saw the crosses in the Jesus piece, I just grabbed it. It really don't mean nothing. And as I say, this demanding, I'm very demanding. Man, there's a lot of devils that's coming in and out my door. So I'm a child of God. You see my Jesus piece, you see my crosses. So as I tell you, this is very demonic and scary around here. I'm talking about that's coming in and out my doors, what I'm trying to protect myself from. So as I see the Jesus piece or the crosses, I just grab it.
So the really bizarre thing here is that this girl is walking down the street with this knife, just like this, and watch as she passes people. Like, this is the world we live in now. This woman is wielding a knife and walking down the street. Very bizarre. And people just slightly get out of the way, but like no one's alarmed whatsoever. Because it's New York City. And this is the shit you see here every single freaking day. No, not unbelievable. Believable. Look at that. Yep. That's our lives. Welcome to New York. Come for the shows. Stay for the food. Tip your waiters and waitresses. Bye.
God forbid women have hobbies.
This man invented a piece of glass that enables you to see different things that you cannot see with the naked eye. As you can see on the video, he was able to spot unidentified flying objects in the sky when he sees through the glass. However, when he removes the glass, those unidentified flying objects seem to vanish. They disappear. Somehow this glass provides us insights, a different angle as to what's out there. And really what this means is that UFOs, what we think are UFOs, are always out there. We just don't see them, but they see us. This person was unalived, perhaps by the government, foreign government. Maybe it was non-humans themselves. I don't know, but he had a great invention, and now we don't know who holds the formula for it. Good night.
Honey, look, this is part 2, y'all. Doing a weather forecast. We are sailing the Silver Sea from Alaska back to Vancouver. Y'all listen, I thought I was going on a NSD trip, y'all. I didn't know this was gonna turn into the Titanic 2.0. Y'all, oh my goodness, 1 minute, y'all, we were sipping tea. The next minute, we are on the, it feels like we riding a mechanical bull out here. Y'all, even my lashes are seasick. My lashes are seasick up in here. Y'all take a look at these waves. Look at these waves. Y'all, can y'all believe? Look how mighty, look how ferocious this water is. Honey, listen, just keep us in your prayers. We are headed back to Vancouver, and let me go inside for my hair. Come on.
Did you know that trees, if there's an insect that is on that tree, based on the insect's saliva, the tree can tell what kind of insect it is, and then it will release a chemical into the air that would draw the predator of that insect to the tree. It will also release a chemical in the air to alert the other trees in the area.
Yeah.
And so when that insect goes to the other trees, they've already been alerted and they've
they're ready
changed the taste of their leaves so that when the insect bites it, it doesn't like it.
That is insane.
This is real science.
Okay, this is Walmart's chicken, and it's saying it's 6 pounds, 6.39. And if you weigh it, it's 4 pounds.
Why you do this? I don't know. Why do you think it says melanated? Huh? Why do you think it says melanated?
Melanated.
Melatonin?
Melanated.
So that's what he's getting to?
Yeah, it's melanated.
I mean, hey.
Crazy world we're living in. You can't make that up.
This has to be the strangest apartment in Manhattan. And now coming inside, what we are greeted with is a shower that's in the main area of the apartment. So that's the living room. That's the bedroom. Here's a quicker look. And here is the kitchen. So basically, you would be showering inside of the kitchen, which is very interesting. And now the bathroom, which I'm sure you're wondering about, is in this closet area. Now, yeah, we're in Midtown, and this apartment, believe it or not, is going to rent for $3,000 a month. This is the living space. Very, very odd, very strange. This apartment's been on the market for a little while. And here is a closer look at the bedroom. And yeah, nice view. Curious to know what you guys think about this one.
Don't breathe through your lungs. You only breathe when the oxygen's in the blood. You breathe through your blood, not through your lungs. So that's part of our miseducation, because we actually think we hear with our ears. You hear with your brain. The sound is picked up and put in the blood, and the blood takes it to the brain, and the brain hears. You hear with your brain, you see with your brain, you touch with your brain, you taste with your brain. So we got it. That's part of our miseducation I was telling you about. The organ that takes the most oxygen is your brain. So when you're starving for oxygen, your brain's starving for oxygen. When the brain says, I'm starving, I need more nutrients, so it's I better step up the estrogen, because estrogen holds moisture and nutrients. So it's gonna throw your hormone level off. You see, so I know I gotta balance your hormone level, because that's been thrown off. It's just basic kind of science. Anything that's different has a different pH, as they call it. So I had to balance that ratio, because you're suffering with the wrong ratio, because the body says, I'm in a crisis. If I'm in a crisis, I'm gonna go dire stress. Not only explain dire stress, you do much better with it than I do.
Under dire stress, your digestive system says, I'm not gonna digest food. Your immune system says, I can't fight disease.
That's the I in dire stress, she's just saying. D.
The R in dire stress is your reproductive system. you're not going to reproduce anything. And you really, when you're under stress, most sane people don't want to. Your E is your excretory system. Your excretory system is the ability of your body to be able to excrete waste. So when the body's under stress, it can't digest. You have to come out of the stress. And when you come out of the stress, then you can digest the food. And a lot of people get sick because they're under stress. And if you're under stress for long periods of time, say if you've been under stress for 6 months, your digestive system hasn't been working for 6 months. Body is only gonna do one thing at a time. You want me to digest this food? Get out of stress.
What we're trying to do is say that the lungs are stressed. Now we know that oil goes to the lungs. So when people smoke, the smoke is carrying the oils, which they call nicotine. The smoke is carrying the cannabinol, and all that goes to the lungs and clogs them up. Well, we know that. We know that things that pull the moisture out of tissue pulls the moisture out of lungs. The body carries waste out that it can't get out the body through peeing, and a bowel movement says, well, I can only pee through the lungs. That's snot. That's the body carrying waste out through snot. And the body carries the waste out and dumps it in your lungs. You see? And it says, that's the way I got to get the waste out. So it dumps it in the lungs, and then you cough to loosen it up and throw it out. That's why I said you're just peeing through your lungs. So we got to increase the efficiency of the kidneys to get rid of this waste so it don't have to go to the lungs. You see, so you need something for the kidneys. It sounds, I'm trying to draw the picture here. You say lungs, I better take something for cough and cold. I'm saying, no, you got to take some for your kidneys, because your kidneys going to get rid of the waste so it won't be dumped into the lungs. You have to get away from the salt, because if you crave salt, you got to crave sugar. If you crave sugar, you got to crave salt. That's why they have salt and sugar in every candy bar. So if you crave sugar, you want some salt. You want some salt, you crave sugar. So you got to get off of those two, because it's going to pull moisture out of the tissues of your lungs. You got to strengthen your kidneys so they can transport the waste so they won't try to dump it into the lungs.
Some breaking news and some unfortunate news. I don't know if you guys know about Julian Brown and Moses West. He takes plastic waste and turns it into gasoline and diesel. He made a machine that did that. And he makes a machine that creates water just out of the moisture of the air. And both of them seem to be missing. There's no posts or anything. They usually post online regularly. Moses West hasn't posted. But the most concerning is Julian Brown, because his last post on Instagram was, hey, there's helicopters flying around and, you know, flying me and following me with lights. And he even tracked to see if there was helicopters supposed to be, you know, online, because this gets posted, and he didn't see anything. And he hasn't posted in 2 weeks. And like you guys don't know, he has Julian Brown. He's like 1.3 million followers on TikTok. A lot of people know about him. And it's so distraughting news, because it's like, we clearly don't protect our people. Because there's only a small group of people that would want to harm these people because they don't want us to prosper and do well and have any progress. So I hope they're okay. There's no confirmation that they're harmed or anything. They're just haven't been missing. It's been 2 weeks and he hasn't posted, and his last post was very alarming. So I hope everything's okay.
He burned his slaves at the stake. That's why it's called Belmont Stakes, because the slave owner was called August Belmont Schurenberg. Wait a minute now. August Belmont Schurenberg was the father of the New York State Democratic Party, and August Belmont Schurenberg created, the Belmont Stakes. He never whipped his slaves, he burnt his slaves at the stake. That's why the horse race is called the Belmont Stakes, because he looked at black men, women, and children as cattle, as horses. The Belmont Stakes. August Belmont Schurenberg, Belmont Stakes. He was the father of Wall Street. So Wall Street was built upon the backs of slaves. Over 20,000 slaves are buried beneath the streets of Wall Street to this day. Over 20,000 slaves. That's why they were auctioned through a draft. NFL draft, NBA draft, NHL, Major League Baseball draft. It doesn't, the system doesn't care what color you are, you're still a slave. Not you or not. So that's why Wall Street is called Wall Street, because the thousands of slaves were lined up along the East River. And now Wall Street is the financial capital of the world.
There's a 500-year-old statue of a man eating a sack of babies, and nobody knows why. In the Swiss capital of Bern, a centuries-old statue continues to puzzle visitors and historians with its grim imagery. The sculpture, known as the Kindlefresser, which translates to child eater, dates back roughly 500 years and portrays a man devouring a child, with a bag full of other children slung over his shoulder. The statue's origin remains uncertain, and its meaning has long been debated. Some theories suggest it served as a warning to misbehaving children, while others propose that it may represent a folkloric ogre or carry darker, possibly anti-Semitic symbolism. Regardless of its intended message, the Kindlefresser remains one of Bern's most haunting and iconic monuments, drawing curiosity and controversy in equal measure.
Hold on, my man got on them da 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 da. Now there used to be a Grey Tower alone on the sea.
Indeed became. Look at how the sun is shining through the tree. I thought it was a reflection off the car, but I've walked in front of it and I can't get it to change. Nigga did this shit. Nigga said 2 different rules. Nigga.
You know how long we take now for even organically grown chickens to go from the hatched egg to the market? When I first started doing this 15 years ago, I told people how alarming it was that we were getting a chick to market in 4 months instead of a year. And then it went from 18 weeks to 16 weeks to 14 weeks to 12 weeks. And now I just recently read a report that even organically raised chickens are going to market in 8 weeks. Now, the poultry industry, with the backing of our government and with this backing of legislation, insists that there are no hormones used in the poultry industry. Then how? What accounts for that change? The trick is in the field. When a modern farmer buys eggs, he buys fertilized eggs and signs a contract to buy the food only from that egg supplier. And these are big multinational companies. He also signs a contract that he will not try to find out what's in the food. And we are not allowed. It's proprietary. No, we don't use hormones, but we won't tell you what we give them. And your government not only accepts, but enforces that.
There's this 23-year-old kid named Rafael Perez, and he's out of this airport in Chimalacán, Mexico. And this kid, he's gonna fly on his own for the first time. So he takes off at 9:15 a.m. And right away he notices that it's very foggy. So he really has not really a good sense of where he is. He can't quite find the airport. And so he tries calling in with a radio. He doesn't really hear back from them. It's sort of garbled static. So he takes the yoke and he tries to bank the airplane left, but the airplane doesn't go left. It just continues flying in a straight line. The plane begins to climb, and he's not making the plane climb. The plane is climbing on its own. There was like this huge cloud that he was basically flying into. He can't see anything, and he passes out. He wakes up in the cockpit, has no idea how long he's been asleep for, but he's immediately shocked that, holy cow, I did not crash the plane. He also looks out the window, and there's no more mist or fog. It's actually just the open ocean underneath him. And he looks at his clock and it says 11:30. Took off at 9:15. It's below 3 hours. The amount of time that has transpired that apparently I was asleep for is not enough time for me to arrive over any body of water. In addition to that, he looks at his gas gauge and it's at 3/4 tank. And he knew that not only is that way too high, but he wouldn't have had enough gas to reach any water body. And as he's coming to like, what's happening here, somebody chimes in over the radio and goes, hey, are you there? And he grabs his radio and he's like, hey, I fell asleep in my plane. I don't know where I am. And the guy on the other end, he's like, hey, this is Carlos. Are you alone in your airplane? And Rafael is like, of course I'm alone. Where am I? And Carlos is like, listen, you're just off the coast of Acapulco. And for the last hour, you've been flying out over the water. He arrived off the coast of Acapulco now an hour earlier. It takes 3 hours to get there. He apparently did it in about an hour and 15 minutes. He lands at the airport in Acapulco. And as soon as he gets off, there's these people in suits that are there to meet him. And they immediately take him and they drive him to a hospital. They drug test him. He's not on drugs. And they also have a psychologist come in and they give him a profile, make sure he's sane, and she determines that he is. And so finally they say, okay, we're gonna tell you what happened. When you showed up off the coast of Acapulco, you showed up on the radar screen of who you were talking to. And he talked to you for an hour while you were out over the water, and it was recorded. And I'm gonna read to you the first thing that Rafael said to Carlos. The pilot is speaking, but not of his own free will. We are using him as a microphone. Your equipment is too primitive. It is not important who we are or where we come from, only that we are inhabitants of the same universe. For the next 30 to 45 minutes, the voice being projected through Rafael talked about humanity as the only intelligent species in the entire universe that uses warfare and conducts violence on each other, and you are poised for a nuclear holocaust, and you may be exterminated if this continues. And then at about 11:30, Rafael wakes up. No one has any idea how Rafael wound up over the coast, and the Mexican government quickly took this story, buried it, and now you can only access it in this obscure library in Mexico.
There's a conspiracy theory that Gangnam Style exploded because of bot farms. The first video to hit 1 billion views, it might not all have been humans. People have spoken out and claimed to have worked on that bot farm.
I remember when Gangnam Style got started, me and my colleagues were all very busy.
Gangnam Style is based on fake views.
The first millions were fake for sure.
This is who you're arguing with online. It's not a real person, it's a phone stacked in a warehouse, and it's one of thousands pumping out comments 24/7. In fact, next time you're arguing with someone in the comments section, remember that there's a 1 in 3 chance that that's a bot. Studies have suggested that 1/3 of all web traffic is fake. And on social media, that number is likely to be higher. These bots don't sleep, they don't blink, they're there all the time. These bot farms take money to boost certain accounts, or maybe bait certain reactions or boost view counts. Bot farms are networks of real phones or emulators running 24/7 to simulate likes, follows, views, and comments. These setups are massive, sometimes thousands of phones deep, all liking the same post, following the same account, or pushing the same propaganda for whoever's paid for it. They use SIM banks, spoofed IPs, remove command software, and sometimes AI generate real-sounding conversations. So if you've noticed weird replies or comments on some content that you've posted, it could likely be a bot. A lot of bots are also trained to argue or mimic outrage. These are made to stoke division, and they're only getting more convincing as AI starts to learn more and more. These bot farms can make fake trends look real. Fake people look popular. They can make fake outrage look like a grassroots movement. It's a lie all dressed up to look real, and people eat it up. So next time you're 10 minutes deep into an argument online, just stop, breathe for a second, and realize that it's good logic that that person might be a bot.
Maybe you're a bot, but you don't know it.
When I started dealing with ritually individuals, then we dealt with military-oriented, highly trained, programmed and inside of them. When we began to deal with them, I dealt with someone from Fort Bragg for quite a while and a few others. We're sitting in a lake, Conneaut Lake. They reached over and ripped open my shirt to see if I was wired, if I was wiring and recording them. They were the most sophisticated, satanic warrior type person. They knew 5-6 languages. They knew the ancient Twilight languages. They knew how to conjure. They knew how to use Belteshazzar, Okwam, all these old Pictish languages of the Druids to summon. They are the real Luciferian. They've been through many human things. So they sat there to tell me some of those things, what they've been involved with, how they sacrifice a human. I'm listening to all this stuff from them. And then they said, you have no idea, Russ, how many of us there are out there. How many satanic chosen ones. You have no idea how many. You have no idea what's coming. We smell Christian. we are waiting for our day. When the call is given, millions of us will be released. And they looked at me and said, you believe in revivals and you believe in Pentecost and the power of God. You believe in all that. We believe in the Black Awakening, a multi-continental release of power to activate the program demonized, where they've the demonic powers to these super soldiers. I do believe that millions and millions of these trained, programmed, altered, demonized super soldiers, whether we want to say it or not, they believe they're being raised to help bring the Antichrist in. When I was in England just a few months ago, their top guy that deals with SRA, Wilfred Wong, first time I meet him, I pulled him aside and I said, listen, you've been doing this 25 years, yeah? I said, you know all about programming and demons, all that? Yes. I looked right at him and I said, Wilfred, why are they here in England? Instantly, he said, they're here to our government. They're here to help bring in and usher in the Antichrist and a new order. That's true in Germany when we were in Germany, when we went to Wadelsburg Castle. That's true in Poland when we went there. That's true in Switzerland. It's true in Canada. When we talk about our research in 38 years worldwide, there may be well over 100 million generations of them. If even half, or even if 10% were intact, like say the United States, remember the in Vegas? Look what he did. What if 10,000 of them were released in 1 week? That's their plot plan and biblical prophecies ahead of that to say, here is what is going to happen. And from that, a global monetary collapse. And from that, all that chaos is coming. So Revelation 13, a whole new order with the Antichrist can come. The secular world, they're registering, millions coming in for diagnosis on that. Now, they don't know how to handle the satanic side. I'm going to tell you just straight out, after 38 years of dealing with it, not only is SRA real here in the United States, that there are millions of victims by design, that there's now generations of them. We deal with 65 and 70-year-olds. They're the first generation. Then we go to 40-year-olds and 20-year-olds. I got 8-year-olds and 12-year-olds we're dealing with. Because if you don't stop this somewhere, they do it to the next generation. That's by design. That's the way it's supposed to be for them. But it occurs in selection. It's generational. They bring a lot of to the child to cause split in personality so that they can demonize and or begin to program. You're going to be a witch, you're going to be a conjurer, you're going to be a program. All kinds of these things happen. They're raised in that system. They're raised to keep all of that hidden down till later on. Millions have already showed up at psych wards all across America since the late 70s to this day. It's all about their unsatiable God. Anything they can do to humanity, innocence, as in a God in a sense.
And that's a wrap on this episode, fool. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash the subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.